Hi everyone, my name is Judy and today I'm very happy to be able to share with you two easy recipes that you can prepare at home. First, I'm going to introduce some of the products and the ingredients that I'm going to use. I'm going to share with you some recipes, how to make the scones, the sweet scones that you can serve for tea time, as well as the savory ones. And the one that I'm going to do will be the black pepper and cheese scones. Now first, I'm going to start by making the basic vanilla flavored scones. Now what you will need to do is to have some flour. Okay, I'm using bread flour. Bread flour has got a higher protein, is able to absorb more cream, more milk for a better flavored scone, as well as keeping it moist without it drying out too quickly. So I'm using some flour, and what you will need will be some baking powder. Baking powder helps to leaven the product. When you put baking powder, it comes in contact with liquid, it will give out carbon dioxide, and that will cause the scones to rise when you are baking it. So just a little bit of baking powder. Now for the baking powder, we actually use double action baking powder, because double action baking powder will ensure that your product, the scones, rise nicely in the oven. If you use single action baking powder, sometimes if you delay for too long, it might lose some of its leavening power, because once it comes in contact with water, carbon dioxide is given out and you don't bake immediately, you might get a heavier scones. So I put a little bit of baking powder. The recipe of course will be given to you in the link later on. Now for the flour, okay, just place the baking powder into the bowl, okay, and over here I have got some sugar as well, and we can add a little bit of salt. Okay, reason is because a little bit of salt will enable, will give the product make it more tasty. So a little bit of salt into the flour. Now you can just use a spatula or a whisk. Okay, just stir it around like this. Okay, just stir the flour like this. And over here, I've got some honey. Honey gives it a nice flavor, as well it acts as a softener. Now, and over here I've got a very nice cream. I'm using Anchor whipping cream. Now, if you notice, the cream has a slight yellowish tinge. That's because the cows from which the cream came from, the cows are grass-fed. So when they feed their free-ranging cows that feed on grass, you will see that because of the chlorophyll, the cream has got a slight yellowish tinge. It makes it look more creamy and gives it a richer look. Now, so what we do over here is that I mix the cream and the honey together first. Okay, like this. Okay, cream and honey. You can just mix with a spoon, that's okay. Alright, just mix it like this. Okay, so that it's evenly mixed. Okay, and here is my flour and my baking powder all, and the salt and the sugar all mixed already. Okay, so now what you do is just simply pour the cream into the mixture. Now you don't really have to sieve your baking powder. Reason is because you're going to mix it anyway. Just give it a stir when you put in the flour and the baking powder together, the sugar and the salt. So for this case, you don't have to use a sieve. One less thing to wash in the kitchen. Okay, so just sort of stir it like this. Okay, stir in a circular movement. Just stir. Now don't over mix your product, and you notice that for this recipe there are no eggs, so that's great for those who avoid eating eggs. And the cream itself gives it a nice creamy look. Okay, sort of light soft yellow look, making a a very attractive looking product now. This is just like the basic scone. Now actually you can also put in some lemon zest, or if you want to, you can throw in some raisins or currants, or if not, you can just put a little bit of vanilla essence. Okay, I know my vanilla essence looks like a big bottle. That's because we have a professional bakery at our company. So, but if you get those small bottles that you can get from the supermarket, a little bit of vanilla essence, that's fine. Okay, so I put a little bit vanilla essence. If you don't want to put this, you can also put some vanilla seeds or some lemon zest, the skin of the lemon, zest it and then mix it, give it a nice natural lemony kind of flavor. Okay, so in this case, now just mix it well like this. Do not overmix. Okay, just make sure that you don't spot any loose flour around in the bowl. So once this one is done, you can stop. Now notice you don't have to mix it until it becomes smooth. Sort of just make sure that all the ingredients are all mixed well, then that will be fine. And if you look at here, I have a mat. You can also use, I have a piece of silk pad from the mall, but you can also use like a baking paper or a piece of plastic sheet. And if you want, you can also dust plastic sheet or the silk pad with a little bit of flour. That will help you to handle the product easily. Now what we do is that, okay, so like this, and just use your hand like this. Okay, just take a little bit of flour and just dust, okay, like this. Take it out. Okay, if you want to, just sort of fold the dough a little bit like this. Fold, but don't overwork the dough. Okay, so like this, keep it down. And you can just fold this over, use a rolling pin and roll it to about 1/2 inch will be fine. Okay, just lightly roll it. Now if you were to do this, if you were to make a recipe of this, you can actually halve it, mix with some chocolate chips, so you've got chocolate chip scones. Otherwise, okay, like this. And it's always good to chill your dough so that it's easier to handle. Now if you don't, just be very careful when you are using it. So you use a cutter, like a round cutter. You can also use a glass, you know, the rim of the glass to cut. Otherwise, you can just get a round cutter. What I have over here is about 2.5 inch of round cutter. Now, so I just simply press it like this. Okay, so I have one piece here. Dip it in a little bit of flour. Now, on a warm day, if you find that you wish to chill the dough, that's also a good idea. If you wish to chill it in the freezer for maybe 10-15 minutes, more easier handling. Otherwise, you see, I have just, you know, roll it and I'm cutting it fresh like this. So with a little bit of flour, you'll find that helps you in cutting, okay, to manage the dough. Now don't be too generous with the flouring, otherwise you get a very firm and heavy product. Okay, so now when you have these scraps that are left, for example, if you take a look at this, okay, you have these pieces here. Now what you do, okay, maybe we can get the camera to take a look at the product here. So you see you have these scraps, don't knead it, don't mix it, sort of just stack it up like this, do another fold gently like this, and then again, okay, you can pat it into shape. If you handle the dough too much, sometimes it shrinks. So what you have to do is to rest it. Now again, the same thing, okay, like this. So we can put it here, so don't waste anything over here. So pat it again, okay, like this, and cut again, okay, like this. So etc. And this little one left a little bit, so sort of pat it, don't waste anything. Okay, so just handle it lightly. You can also try to squeeze. It's just, okay, if you want to form it freehand, you may as well. if you have heart-shaped cutters for Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, or any day you wish to make these scones for a loved one, just get heart-shaped cutters and cut it, and that will look quite charming, don't you think so? Okay, so we leave it like this, and what I do is to use, I've got some egg wash over here, just one egg, and what I'm going to do is to place it on a baking tray directly over here. Now, this baking tray of mine is actually non-stick, so I don't have to put the silk pad over it, which is actually a non-stick. I can put directly over this. However, if you don't have a non-stick tray, do use the silk pad or your baking paper, non-stick baking paper or wax paper during the baking. So if you take a look like this, and this one is the hand-shaped one, so I place over here like this. So I have, as I mentioned, I've got some basics. So what I do is that, okay, basically I'm going to glaze it like this. And then that's it. And it's actually ready to bake. Now my oven, I have preheated my oven. Of course, this is a commercial deck oven. Otherwise, at home you can use your home oven. Home ovens, remember to preheat your home ovens to 180 degrees top heat, bottom heat for about 20 minutes. So what you will get at home is probably something like this. You have an oven that will stick. Like this is your top heat, this is your bottom heat. And if you take a look, okay, so once you can heat it up to 180 degrees, you need to turn it on, wait for about 20 minutes to preheat before you slide in your tray of scones to bake. Baking time will be approximately 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, time for duration of baking is always approximate because it depends on the type of oven you have. You really have to check. Make sure it's light golden brown, not burnt or not too pale. So the reason why we glaze it with eggs is because to give it a nice color and a shine. You will see the scones rising and puffing up, so that will be the time when it's actually ready. I also have a recipe to share with everyone, which is black pepper cheese scones. Now for the cheese scones, the method is also the same. Always just mix the dry ingredients together, the flour, the sugar. If there's sugar, for black pepper you can put in some black pepper, and also salt, of course. And then like what I did for the earlier scones, and I actually mix the cream for the black pepper cheese scones. I actually have some melted butter added to it. So the melted butter gives it a nice flavor. Now how you actually melt the butter, you can take a piece, heat it over the fire in a saucepan, or you can pop this into the microwave for it to melt. That gives it an added flavor to your cheese scones. So but anyway, okay, this is now before I forget, if you're going to make cheese scones, you can actually sprinkle some grated cheddar cheese. I love the fact that this is Anchor cheddar cheese. If I'm not wrong, this company started since the 1800s. That must really, say something about a company that has lasted for generations. Now, so what you can do is to grate some cheddar cheese, sprinkle some cheddar cheese. Maybe I can share with you how you actually do it. Okay, so I've got some cheddar cheese over here. Assuming that this is the cheese scones, so you can actually sprinkle some cheddar cheese like this, etc. And then you can bake it, alright, to give it a nice flavor. And for black pepper cheese scones, you can even put other kinds of herbs, any chopped herbs, chives, or you can also saute some garlic in butter, some chopped garlic. What you do is take some nice Anchor butter and then heat it up over the fire Once it's melted, put in the garlic and fry till it's fragrant. And the chopped garlic, the fried garlic can be added directly to your savory scones. So it's so good you can even eat it on its own. Okay. Otherwise, traditionally for scones, it's served with clotted cream in England, of course. Now, of course, you can buy clotted cream these days. Another way is to make your own clotted cream, which can be very time consuming. So today I'm going to share with you a really simple recipe to make clotted cream, and it's fast and easy. It's not quite the real thing, the traditional way where they would prepare the clotted cream over a long, over some hours. This is fast to make and is good enough to be served together with your scones. Now, for the clotted cream, what we would need would be ingredients like cream cheese. So I've got some cream cheese over here. Anchor also has got cream cheese. Okay, so this is cream cheese. Now, if you wish to make your job a little bit easier, you can actually let the cream cheese come to room temperature for about maybe half an hour so that it's softer for you to cream it. And then what we do, okay, so we've got the cream cheese over here. Okay, some cream cheese. You can soften it a little bit. And I've got some whipping cream over here. Now, it's always important to whip your cream. Before you whip your cream, it's actually very important to make sure that it's in the refrigerator so that when it's cold, it's easier to whip. So here I have my whipping cream here. Okay, it's still choked. Alright. Now, here I have a machine to whisk it. If you don't have a machine, then you can whisk it by hand also, but that will take a little while. If not, you will use a balloon whisk to whisk your cream. Okay, so otherwise, right, you can use a whisk like this, and then you can whisk it when it's cold. Otherwise, get hold of your whisk. So if I were to whisk in my hand, it's going to be quite time consuming, a lot of elbow grease. So I rather whisk it, okay, using the machine. You can also use a handheld machine if your bowl has been chilled, and your cream must be chilled first. Okay, so I'm going to use this. Cream cheese, you can soften it by beating with a paddle. Okay, in the shop what to do, just make it. Okay, be careful when you whip the cream. Now, because this really is the real cream and it comes from the cows, sometimes if you over whip your cream, it may split into, turn into butter. Okay, so be careful. So whip till it's firm but not over whip. How long it takes really depends on also your machine sometimes. Okay, this is my cream. Okay, alright, so you whip till it's firm but not over whip. You can see, okay, for this, like this. Okay, you see it's soft dropping consistency. Okay, so just whip the cream. See, if it's under whip, it will look very sort of even out, you know, but here you can maintain the shape, so that's okay. Now then, in the meantime, in the same bowl, I'm going to put in the cream cheese, okay, and I'm going to beat with my paddle, alright, to soften the cream. Now, if you don't have this at home, you can really use a handheld machine as well. So here I'm showing you how to make the clotted cream. Okay, just to soften it. Now, if you like your clotted cream to have just a tinge of sweetness, you may put in a little bit of icing sugar. I've got my icing sugar here. Alright, so we can put just a little bit of icing sugar. Anyway, the amounts and the complete recipe will be shared with you. Okay, so here I softened the cream cheese and a little bit of icing sugar just to give it a little bit of sweetness to the quick and easy clotted cream. Now, why we use some cream cheese? The reason is the cream cheese will thicken the cream so that it gives a little bit of body. Now, the clotted cream, the taste is a little bit like a cross between butter and cream. So traditionally, we like to slather the scones with clotted cream and eat it with jam, for example. Okay, so just sharing a simple recipe with you. Okay, so once it's softened like this, okay, once it's softened, all right, okay, should be easy, softened. Okay, and we put in some of the cream. First, we put in a little bit of the cream to lighten it. Okay, you can use your spatula or a wooden spoon, something that is firm, to sort of lighten your cream cheese. Okay, so the cream helps to lighten our easy to make clotted cream. At the same time, the cream cheese gives the clotted cream some body. Okay, so we mix it like this, and that's it. Okay, easy to make. Okay, so here we have our easy to make shortcut kind of clotted cream. These days, we like to keep things simple and easy to prepare since we live such busy lives. So, alright, and then this clotted cream can be kept in the refrigerator for several days, and once you have, okay, so I can keep it in the refrigerator later on, but in the meantime, let's serve some of our scones. Okay, just to show you how the baked scones, if you take a look at what's in the oven, they are all rising nicely over here. If you take a look, okay, so this will take a little while more to bake. It has a nice golden color. This is the black pepper cheese scones that I told you about. And the recipe, of course, I will be sharing with you the recipe. Recipe will be made available to you. And this is the simple kind of scones, easy to make, and this will be served with clotted cream. And of course, you need a cup of tea, beautiful vintage chinaware, and some tea. Okay, and then that completes. So we have the savory black pepper cheese scones made with cream cheese. Made with cream and milk, and over here we have and with anchor butter, and over here we have our vanilla scones that we can serve with clotted cream and jam. So I hope you will give a try to the recipes and make it in the comfort of your homes.